Yo, ladies and gentlemen, stick with me because we're about to dive straight into one of the funniest family movies ever made, Dennis the Menace. One of those movies that made our childhood unforgettable. This little menace almost gave his innocent neighbor, Mr. Wilson, a heart attack. Bro is probably the only kid who can turn the most peaceful neighborhood into a war zone. So, the movie begins in a quiet little town with a calm, peaceful neighborhood. An elderly man named George Wilson steps outside to enjoy some fresh air and pick up his morning newspaper. But before he can even relax, he hears a loud rumbling sound racing straight toward him. The old man immediately panics and runs back inside his house. And trust me, he wasn't the only one running for his life. The squirrels disappeared, the birds flew away. Even the neighborhood cat said, "No, I'm out." Now you're probably wondering, who on earth is causing all this chaos? It's Dennis Mitchell, a 5-year-old certified menace riding his bicycle like he's escaping from the police. The bike is covered with the weirdest things imaginable, empty cans rattling behind him, grasshoppers, a snake, and all kinds of random junk. At this point, this kid isn't thinking like a normal 5-year-old anymore. Bro is operating on a completely different level of insanity. And trust me, we're just getting started. So, Dennis heads over to visit his next-door neighbor, Mr. Wilson. But the way Mr. Wilson rushed back into the house earlier tells you everything you need to know. The old man is completely exhausted. Dennis should just let this poor man enjoy his retirement in peace. As Dennis walks in, Mr. Wilson pretends to be asleep, hoping the little menace will leave him alone. Yeah, as if that was ever going to work. Dennis starts grabbing the old man's beard, poking his face, then shines a flashlight right into his eyes. And you think he's finally done? Hell no. The little menace grabs his slingshot, loads it with a paracetamol tablet, and fires it straight into Mr. Wilson's mouth. Mr. Wilson's face instantly changes. Bro looks like someone trying to force out the hardest poop of his life. The old man struggles to swallow the tablet while Dennis casually runs out of the house like nothing happened. When Dennis gets back home, his dad immediately notices something isn't right. "Dennis, where have you been?" "At Mr. Wilson's." A few moments later, the telephone rings. Mr. Wilson is screaming his lungs out. "Dennis almost killed me this morning. If I catch that little rat anywhere near my house again, I'll squish him." You can already tell this old man has completely lost his patience. After hearing the whole story, Dennis' parents confiscate his slingshot and decide to send him over to Margaret's house for the holiday. But let's be honest, if this happened in an African home, that slingshot wouldn't be the only thing getting confiscated. My brother, before you even explain yourself, your parents would have delivered the beating of your life for disturbing an innocent old man. Dennis is actually lucky he was born in the right country. Cut to Margaret and Joey playing a game of truth or dare. Margaret tells Joey to close his eyes because she has a special surprise for him. The poor guy leans in, thinking he's about to get a kiss, only to end up kissing the butt of Margaret's baby doll instead.
Me personally, I wouldn't take this level of disrespect.
Later, Dennis' mom takes him over to Margaret's house so they can play together. But Dennis isn't interested at all. My guy refuses to go inside, so his mom literally drags him through the front door. After a while, Margaret starts calling the other neighborhood kids boring. So, they decide to head into the woods for a little adventure. That's when they discover an old treehouse hidden deep in the forest. The moment they see it, they all agree. This place is going to be our secret clubhouse. Meanwhile, a train rolls into town, and before it reaches the station, a strange-looking drifter quietly jumps off. The moment you see this guy, you already know something bad is about to happen.
Okay.
Back at the treehouse, Dennis and his friends bring all kinds of stuff to decorate their new hideout. But while the kids are busy having fun, the mysterious drifter is secretly watching them from below. As everyone gets ready to head home, Margaret suddenly realizes her favorite doll is missing. What they don't realize is that the strange man has already stolen it. Soon afterward, the drifter starts roaming around the neighborhood. First, he snatches an apple from a little kid. Then he breaks into a house and steals a jewelry box. Yep, bro is already trying to build generational wealth the illegal way. Back at Dennis' house, Dennis is cleaning up spilled paint with a dry vacuum. When he's finished, he carries the vacuum outside. The vacuum almost sucks his hair clean off his head. Luckily, he switches it off just in time. But that's not the end of today's disaster. The paint trapped inside the vacuum hose suddenly shoots into the air and lands perfectly inside Mr. Wilson's cooking pot. A few seconds later, The entire pot burst into flames. I'm not even gonna lie anymore. Bro is a full-time menace to society. And guess what? Mr. Wilson happily takes the very first bite with the biggest smile on his face. 2 seconds later, Bro's expression changes from pure happiness to absolute disgust. Mrs. Wilson looks at him, confused. George, what's wrong? It tastes like paint. Damn! At this point, the old man doesn't even need evidence anymore. In his mind, there's only one suspect. Dennis. Later that night, Mr. Wilson sneaks into Mr. Mitchell's garage to investigate how on earth paint ended up inside his dinner. Meanwhile, Dennis catches his babysitter having a romantic moment with her boyfriend. Instead of minding his own business, this little menace quietly sneaks outside and rings the doorbell. The couple opens the door. Nobody. Dennis is already hiding. A few seconds later. Ding dong. This time, the couple has had enough. At that exact moment, Mr. Wilson accidentally switches on the dry vacuum in the garage. Unfortunately, the hose is pointing directly behind him, with a golf ball sitting inside. Boom! The golf ball shoots out at full speed and smacks him right where no man ever wants to be hit. Bro instantly folds like a plastic chair. So instead of Dennis receiving karma, Mr. Wilson collected it on his behalf. The poor man walks back home looking like life has completely defeated him. Dennis decides to write an apology letter for Mr. Wilson. Or, maybe the little guy is finally changing. Yeah, who are we kidding? While visiting Mr. Wilson's house, Dennis finds the old man's dentures. Instead of putting them back where they belong, he starts playing with them like they're toys. And then, crack, the dentures snap into pieces. A few moments later, a photographer arrives to take a family portrait. Alright, everyone smile. Mr. Wilson flashes his replacement teeth. Bro looks like a cartoon rabbit that borrowed somebody else's mouth. Even Mrs. Wilson can't hide her reaction. Her face is basically saying, no, those teeth are doing too much. I'm pretty sure even the photographer had never seen anything like that before. Meanwhile, that mysterious drifter is still wandering around town, stealing whatever he can find while scouting his next victim. Eventually, a police officer pulls up and warns him to stay out of trouble. The stranger slowly turns around and reveals a mouthful of dirty, rotten teeth. Bro looks like toothpaste personally gave up on him years ago. Cut to another scene. Dennis' parents are getting ready to go on vacation. The only problem is, they need someone to babysit Dennis. So they start calling babysitter after babysitter. The first one says, no. The second one says, nope. The third one doesn't even hesitate. Absolutely not. Every single person they call keeps rejecting the job. Like, don't you people want money? To be honest, babysitting is one of the easiest jobs in the world if the child is normal. But this isn't an ordinary kid. Since nobody agrees to babysit him, Dennis' parents make one final decision. They are going to leave him with Mr. Wilson. Bro is probably thinking, this little rat is going to finish me before old age does. Later, Dennis is taking his bath. While playing around, soap bubbles spill all over the bathroom floor. But that's not even the worst part. This little menace pours toilet cleaner into Mr. Wilson's mouthwash bottle. Things are about to get messier. A few minutes later, Mr. Wilson walks into the bathroom. He takes one step, then another. Bro's legs spread in completely opposite directions like he's accidentally performing a gymnastics routine. Somehow, he survives the split and gets back on his feet. As usual, before going to bed, he grabs his mouthwash, takes a big sip. My guy just rinsed his mouth with toilet cleaner. Welcome to life with Dennis. Seriously, what else were you expecting? After finally cleaning up all the mess, Mr. Wilson suddenly starts struggling to breathe. He quickly reaches for his inhaler. One puff later, his eyes go wide, and he starts making the weirdest noises you've ever heard. Bro sounds like a confused wolf asking the moon for customer service.
And I've decided that I want to die.
Later that night, Mr. and Mrs. Wilson get into a small argument because they never had children. Feeling hurt, Mrs. Wilson quietly walks out of the bedroom. Realizing he went too far, Mr. Wilson decides to apologize. He walks over in the dark, leans in for a kiss, and accidentally kisses Dennis' dog instead.
George?
Uh-oh.
The next day, Mr. Wilson keeps a close eye on Dennis, but Dennis doesn't stay out of trouble for long. He unties the rope holding a canoe in place. Suddenly, Mr. Wilson loses his balance. The canoe swings straight toward him and narrowly misses the family jewels. Meanwhile, a group of wealthy guests arrives to honor Mr. Wilson's award-winning garden. Before welcoming everyone, Mr. Wilson looks Dennis straight in the eyes. "Don't embarrass me." The moment somebody says that, you already know disaster is coming. After standing around for a while, Dennis gets bored. Then, he notices a mysterious button. Now, any sensible person would leave it alone. But this is Dennis. He presses it anyway. Instantly, the garage door shoots open. The banquet table tips over. And all the food prepared for the guests crashes onto the ground. At this point, I'm convinced Dennis doesn't create problems. Problems create themselves whenever Dennis shows up.
Oh my god,
I made a mistake.
Meanwhile, that mysterious drifter sneaks into Mr. Wilson's house and steals his stash of gold coins. Just as Dennis runs outside to warn Mr. Wilson, disaster strikes again. The beautiful garden everyone came to admire gets completely destroyed. Mr. Wilson completely loses it. "You're a cursed child." He blames Dennis for everything and orders him to get out of his house. Feeling heartbroken, Dennis quietly walks away and heads into the woods. That's when he comes face to face with the mysterious thief. And trust me, things are about to get messy. Dennis wastes no time. He pulls out his slingshot. How? The rock smacks the thief right on the forehead. Bro definitely starts seeing birds and stars flying around his head. But Dennis still isn't finished. He lights up a stick and launches it straight at the thief. Whoosh. The man's backside catches fire. After spending his whole life stealing from innocent people, karma finally clocks in for work. Furious, the thief climbs out of the water and ties Dennis up with a rope. But Dennis quickly points out that he's doing it all wrong. Imagine teaching the criminal how to tie you up properly. Dennis even helps him tighten the knots and lock the handcuffs. This kid is built differently. The thief then asks Dennis to fetch the key to the handcuffs. Unfortunately, the key accidentally drops into a pot of hot stew. Bombastic side-eye. Danger on top of danger. Since that's the only way to get the key back, Dennis starts feeding the hot stew to the thief. The only problem is, the thief accidentally swallows the key. While trying to cut Dennis loose with his knife, the thief has no idea Dennis is already fighting back. Dennis pushes a huge log from above. Bam! The log lands right on the thief's head. Bro instantly enters sleep mode. Thinking the man is just cold, Dennis kindly covers him with his coat. Unfortunately, the poor thief catches fire all over again.
Ew.
The next morning, Dennis proudly returns to the neighborhood, dragging the captured thief behind him. The police immediately arrest the criminal. The entire neighborhood celebrates Dennis as a hero. Finally, Mr. Wilson can breathe in peace. Or maybe not, because Dennis ends the movie by accidentally flinging hot melted rubber straight onto Mr. Wilson's face. Yep, some things never change. And that's the end of Dennis the Menace, one of my all-time favorite childhood comedy movies. If this recap brought back some memories, don't forget to smash that subscribe button so you never miss more classic childhood movie recaps. Also, hit the like button and let me know in the comments, which scene made you laugh the most. Share this video with your friends and loved ones, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care of yourselves out there. It's your faithful guy, RayRae. Peace.